How's ISIS likely, Michael, to react to the president's address?
Well, I think they'll laugh, frankly. I mean, I heard in the president's remarks self-congratulation and cheerleading. We will destroy ISIL. We will defeat this death cult, as he called it. Look, Wolf, when the president came out and said ISIS has been contained, and he was speaking specifically to the geographical expanse of their so-called caliphate. Last week, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff repudiated those remarks and said, no, actually, they're not contained. We've had some tactical victories on the battlefield, but strategically, ISIS is very much on the front foot. They have established franchises or affiliates in the Sinai Peninsula, Yemen, Libya, Afghanistan, the North Caucasus. The list continues. U.S. Fighter jets, U.S. bombers are coming back to base, not having dropped about 75% of their payloads. That's the latest statistic out of the Pentagon. The Daily Beast, my publication tonight, published a report saying that before he made his containment gaffe, he ordered a U.S. intelligence assessment which found exactly the same thing. We're actually not winning this war. This is why the Defense Intelligence Agency, 50 different analysts got up and blew the whistle and said, we are being forced to cook the intelligence to make it seem like we're making more progress than we have done. ISIS's threat with respect to these new attacks, the president spoke as though this is an evolving thing, self-radicalization. The first year into his presidency, Wolf, Omar Farouk Abdul-Muttalib, the so-called underpants bomber, tried to blow up an airliner in the skies above Detroit. Omar Farouk Abdul-Muttalib was radicalized while he was sitting at University College London in Great Britain. We have been dealing with this menace for, well, almost a decade now. There's nothing evolved here. The attackers in Paris, the way they struck, this wasn't just a mere gun assault. You're talking about it's 8 different suicide bombings coordinated with gun attacks, summary execution-style massacre. That's out of Diyala province. That's out of Baghdad more than European cities. I have not heard, and I really wish the president would say this. Look, I screwed up. I underestimated the threat. I called them the JV team well after I was briefed and knew what al-Qaeda in Iraq had been up to, including strapping mentally disabled young girls with suicide bombs and marching them into police headquarters, including, by the way, holding terrain in Al-Anbar province as the Zarqawas did in the mid-2000s. We have to be very realistic here. I'm not talking about alarmism, I'm not talking about fear-mongering, and I applaud him for drawing this distinction between Islam and ISIS. But I really think his head is in the clouds if he thinks that this current strategy is going to succeed. In the last 2 months and change, ISIS has now perpetrated 5 major attacks. 3 of them have been in NATO countries, Wolf. Okay, this is not a contained threat. This is not something that we can go to bed quietly at night and think the United States of America is going to be victorious, and certainly not by the end of this president's term. As he himself has said before, this is going to be something that the next president is going to deal with. So I'd like a little more realism and a little less rah-rah, we're doing great.